Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be talking about Rahu and specifically the placement of Rahu in the seventh house. So, having Rahu in the seventh house is quite a unique challenge when it comes to yourself and your relationship with others. And personally, because I have this placement, I have been doing a lot of research around, what it means to have a Rahu in the seventh house. And most of everything that I have read on the internet about it has not been very positive. So I want to put out a video today that helps you truly understand what Rahu in the seventh house is like from someone who has it. I just want you to not get pulled down by what you read online and feel negative about your placement. My hope is that you become curious about this placement instead. So if you know someone who has it, you can better understand what their challenges are, and hopefully you can help them through those challenges if you know a little bit more about them. So let's get started. So, because the seventh house represents the other side of you as a person, it represents all the other people in your life and your relationship with them. Generally, the biggest pitfall here is that I tend to run into issues around obligations and compromises and trust. These are all the things that people who have good Libra placements know how to do well. And having the Rahu there means that you're going to run into issues around these concepts and themes. I do tend to notice that there are lots of ups and downs in relationships. Often, the feeling that I get is that I do want to be on my own a lot more because of that Ketu in the first house. It sometimes can feel like there's a tug of war between what is good for the relationship and what is good for myself. Um, Personally, I have Virgo on the first house ascendant. So I am a service oriented sign. Virgo tends to want to serve others all the time. And having Rahu in the seventh house can sometimes make it difficult to know if you're doing way too much for somebody else, or once you reach that threshold, you might suddenly start doing too little for somebody else because you don't know how to strike a balance between yourself and your needs and somebody else's needs. So you can think about the fact that there is a pull that one feels towards Libran qualities. So in this lifetime, you might be pulled towards things like diplomacy and tact and business and one-on-one interactions. These are all the things that Libra represents. Sometimes having Rahu in the seventh house means you're attracted to people who are great businessmen or businesswomen. Just in general, having Rahu in the seventh house means that you're going to be attracted to somebody who is very unique. Somebody who doesn't really fit in the mold of what is generally considered as like normal or mainstream. You can get attracted to people who are not from the same culture as you, people who are very unique and different. It could be through their background, their language, their culture, right? A lot of times, Rahu in the seventh house will make you attracted to people who are far from where you are, and you really have to really take time to get to know them and break through that boundary that really separates the two of you. Rahu has that feeling of being a trendsetter or being a radical or different, somebody who's progressive. Maybe a little bit of a rebel, or somebody who has a lot of courage and tenacity to go after the things that they want. They have ways to achieve things in life that might not necessarily be a very traditional way. They're kind of innovative in that sense. They're different. Your partner can be a little bit mysterious to you as a person with Rahu in the seventh house. You might not necessarily know, is your partner somebody you can trust? You can sometimes have a reservation. Maybe that's not the partner for you. You know, it's if you imagine Rahu as a cloud of smoke. Now imagine having cloud of smoke around somebody that you are in love with, or somebody that you are married to, or something like that, right? If you're always kind of unsure about them, it leaves a space in your heart which is not completely fulfilled by the other, and you almost keep looking for that in life. You almost wonder, like, is this the right person for me? To a certain extent, you really want a partner that is going to be the right person for you. That desire is very intense, and it can lead to an unending desire to find the right partner. But I don't think this means that if you are in a relationship, you are not loyal. I really don't think it's about that. I think it's really about wanting the ultimate relationship, the highest level, or the highest quality of relationship. I think you can feel a little bit like you're out of your league when you're in relationships. You know, you just never know what your Rahu partner is gonna pull out of the hat, and you might not know how to deal with relationships ups and downs. You know, it's a very scary element, and something that takes time and experience to learn how to deal with. So relationships can be difficult from that perspective, but nonetheless, it gives you very exciting partners. It makes your relationships very interesting. I've had a lot of highs with partners. Of course, there is always very lows with partners that also comes along with that. But it's been actually twice that I've been with a partner when I've been, you know, like shopping in the mall or going to the movies. There's been like television cameras around, and they've taken like a video of us, and it ended up being shown in the country, and we ended up making money from that. So it's interesting that like these very out of the box experiences happen when I'm with my partner. And I don't know if that has something to do with Rahu in the seventh house, but it feels kind of very unlike something that I would expect to happen to me as a person with Ketu in the first house. My partner has generally had a lot of ambition, and tend to be a little bit larger than life. So through the Rahu partner, you sort of experience life on a different level. So it brings the Ketu in the first house with them through that experience. I have personally noticed that there are specific benefits that I have seen come because of my partnerships. And I generally learn from my partner because they have that Rahu intensity to them about achieving things and going after things. They're a lot more passionate than I am. But I generally gain a lot from their successes. And whenever I'm in a partnership, I tend to shine more, or I tend to, you know, professionally or just publicly come more into the spotlight. It's almost like when there is a partnership going on, I feel more like I'm able to achieve more myself because of my partnership. And I have seen that that is generally also because the Rahu partner has a Libran qualities. You know, they're very good with dealing with other people, helping you get connections. They're very business savvy, and they tend to also speak a lot to other people about you in a way that helps you look good. I've seen my professional image improve, and I've also seen my financial status improve. So, the seventh house relationships tend to create a lot more success in the life of a first house Ketu person. So, one of the interesting things about having Rahu in the seventh house is that um, People are a real mystery to you. So, you don't always know your way around other people. Um, and that's not just your partner, it might be people in general. You tend to watch people, observe them, try to understand, what they do, why they do it. Um, and this can make you kind of, you know how to make other people feel good about themselves because you are very other focused to a certain extent. You can try to emphasize what is good about other people to them, which makes them feel good because you are actually very aware of other people, and you try very hard to understand them. And I don't know if you actually excel at that, but when you are in social settings and you do excel in putting a really good image in front of others, and you're able to have, like, exude those Libran qualities, then you tend to feel a little bit like you succeeded. I think that's the direction that you're going towards with the Rahu in the seventh house, is how to create those one-on-one interactions that are successful and really balance the give and take between you and somebody else. So, famous people with this placement that I found very interesting were Nita Ambani. She has a Rahu in the seventh house in the sign of Gemini. And you can see how her life developed, and whether her partner, exudes those Rahu in the seventh house qualities, and how that impacted her life and how it changed her trajectory in life. The second person is Madhuri Dixit. She also has a Rahu in the seventh house. I'm not completely sure if she has a Rahu in Aries. I think she does, but I'm not 100% sure. Um, so Madhuri is married to somebody who lives abroad, right? So she had to sort of make that cultural shift to the USA, and it sort of happened at a very late age, right, for her. And then Deepika Padukone, she has a Rahu in Aries as well in the seventh house. And the most interesting of all is Amitabh Bachchan. He has a Rahu in the seventh house in the sign of Leo. So you can sort of think a little bit about how he rose to fame through his marriage to Jaya Bachchan, who at that time was actually the forerunner and was a lot more famous than he was. So these are some of the interesting things that I wanted to share about Rahu in the seventh house. I would love to hear from you. What are the things that you've noticed about your Rahu in the seventh house? Please leave them in the comment below. Um, and if you liked anything that I shared in this video and you related to anything, also comment on that and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.